Guys, here we are. We're in the Russian Endgame Handbook Part 5. So if y'all missed parts 1 through 4, make sure y'all catch it on the YouTube. I'm going to link it to the description in the YouTube video so y'all have a playlist in there. Y'all can check 1 through 4. This one today is number 5. So we on chapters 7 and 8 today. Let's go through it. We're going to skim through some of this stuff. Here it is. In the preceding chapters, we looked at positions where the knight forced mate against a pawn or a few pawns. And okay, there we presented a position in a bishop. There, okay, whatever. Wins against the pawns, got it. In both cases, okay, cool, perfect. All right, knight versus pawn. This is where we are. Let's go up here. And it's black to move. Let's flip it. So it's black to move here. Okay, so what are they saying? Black to move draws. All right, cool. So let's move this up so you guys can do this. Now it's on you. Let me actually move it over so y'all can see this more. All right, chat. Black to move. Black to move. And you need to draw this. What is the draw? Can you find the draw? Black to move and draw the game. White is trying to queen, obviously. White is trying to queen. Oh, this one nasty. I'm sitting here like, what on earth is this one, bro? Like, you gotta be kidding me. And then you find it. And then you find it. And it looks like we have some in the chat. King E7, 96. King E7, 96. Knight C7. Great job, guys. Great job, chat. That is right. Of course, Knight B7 does not work because of A6. And you can't get back. And so we're saying, as you see, King F7 actually loses because A6, 96. White can win with King C6. And it's actually not working there. Knight D8 and King B6. And you're looking crazy out here. Start a new one. I think they're saying this one works as well. So it says next, let's look at King E7. This move leads to the goal. All right, this is what I figured as well. Because now after A6, you have Knight C6. And if King C6, you can go King D8, A7, and Knight C7. This way. So you catch the pawn. And it becomes a draw. Thanks for the follow, lead a prisoner. Yeah. That's kind of nuts there. That was pretty good. I like that. Okay. How about this one? Okay, so how does black maintain the draw in this position? What does it say? Black. Okay, black obtains a draw easily. So this one is white to move. Is white to move here, but how do you make the draw, guys? So I'm going to go King A6. How do we make the draw here, chat? If I go King A6, you're playing black. I'm trying to queen. How do you make the draw? Sack the knight for the pawn, says Rive. Jessica says Knight C5. Knight to C5. Okay, I'm going to go King B5. We'll go here then. And next move for me. Next move, chat. After King back to B5. Knight B7. Always repeat. Okay, just Mike, I see you. King C6 then. Go around the back way, see who's home. What's next after King to C6? Knight to A5. I see Knight A5, correct. Okay, King C7. And the final move here, as I know you guys probably have it by now. Jess says it first, King to G2. That's it. That's literally it, guys. Endgame is drawn. Nothing to do here. It says after this, here King A6, Knight C5, King B5. Right, or if King A7, you go King G2. Same thing. If Knight B7, King C6, Knight D8 check. Wow. I mean, I'm not even like, why on earth would you go this route? Like, yo, you are tripping. Don't play around like that. Like, that's how you get messed up out here, playing around. Yes, it works, but they were saying, well, this one is even simpler. Then do this one. Like, don't be out here playing around for gimmicks. You know, they out here tripping. Knight A5, King here, and Knight B7. I guess they're showing you it can work, but just do it the right way, guys. Do it the easy way. It's easy to calculate. Don't mess this up here, because that would be terrible if you mess this up, right? Now, you can get around. They're showing you how, but even still, like, I mean, you could mess this up easily. Especially, imagine if you have low time and you're trying to, oh, is that the right square? Oh, my goodness, and you mess it up. Okay, this one's same way. This one's a draw as well. All right, and they show here, King B6, Knight C8, King B7, Knight D6, King C7, and Knight B5, right, and then Knight D6. So when you push the pawn, we fork you, right? As soon as you push, we go Knight C1, fork, and then we take. Excellent. Now the question arises, can a knight battle successfully against a king and a pawn that has already advanced to the 7th rank. It's white to move here. Is stopping the pawn guaranteed in that case? To resolve the question, we focus our attention to the rook pawn first of all. Are they saying a rook pawn? Huh? Okay. And with this in mind, we examine the following position. For example. All right, so here we go. Every knight move has to be a check. Ah. Okay. Just Mike. Hector Carp, what's up? Thanks for the follow. What do you think, chat? What do you think, chat? In fact, it's white's move, so I'll make white's move. And we go, obviously. Well, I'm not going to say obviously. You have two moves, right? So you have a check and you have a knight to e7. So which one are we choosing? Check or knight e7? This is really a knight pawn. Yeah, it's a rook pawn right here. Yeah, hi, what's up, Auto? 97, Auto Rocks. What's about it? Mommy check. Two things to follow. Check. I guess both work. All right, let's get the answer here. Black has an easy draw after king h7, knight f6. Here, easy. However, the matters are quite different from a rook pawn. But it's a rook pawn up here, don't it? Right here. See that? Yeah, we're gonna first look at the rook pawn right here, and then we're gonna go back over here and look at the rook pawn right here, bro. Okay, and then so however matters are quite different with a rook pawn. For example, in this position, oh, this one's nice. See why this was free? You know what, Miko Shark? You actually got it for free. $17.99 is actually the price for it, right? It might be a little typo in here, but I mean, shoot, did we learn how to mate with a bishop and a knight out of this book? You know what I'm saying? Sheesh. Yo, there's some stuff in here. Did it get you right? Fred Chess, thanks for the follow. Okay, guys, this is a draw, right? So it's white to move. I'm going to go here. What do you do? I'm going to go here. Let's see if we can get this right. You have to know what to do. Right? Is this a draw? Got to count. Let's see. Calculations. Does white win? Can he hold this? What do we do? He just put me go. White wins. Oh man, do you know how to mate with two bishops? That one's easy. All right, white wins simply. Right, here it is. This is lost. Very good, chat. This is lost. He can't get there in time. If he was a move away, you have to follow him. If he was right here, like let's go back. Oops, sorry. If he was right here, right now, we could catch him. If he was right here, right now. But because he's one away, is problematic. He's too far away. So I literally sidestep you right in the nick of time. Right in the nick of time. Let's see what this says. If a pawn advance, oh, hold on, let's do this. Let's see this again. If a pawn advance to the next to last rank, okay, is stopped by a knight, then the draw is secured only if the pawn is not a rook pawn. With a rook pawn, the outcome is determined by the placement of the kings. My goodness, the man. They dropping bombs in here. And they out here like, how do I get better? How do I get better? Read the books right here. The Russian Endgame. Read the books. They telling you all kind of stuff in here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. That's just like, oh, where is it? And after you master this, read it multiple times, obviously, right? Then you'll know, oh, a pawn in the corner is the placement of the kings. Where is he? Oh, cool. This is a draw. Before you even calculate, you can know, oh, this is a draw based off the kings. Oh, I win based off the kings. Maybe I could swindle my opponent that may not know, blah, 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 about this rule. It's good to understand these things, right? Black to move, white wins. Okay, so what do they have here? Knight c6 does not help due to king c7, knight b4, king b6. Nice. Okay. Cool. We just kind of running through that one. Yeah, you're rushing. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So that one's done. Knight versus two pawns. That one ain't. That one's rare, and usually you like losing. White to move, draw. Wow. Oh, that's because the king's so far away. It depends on the king placement, really. In here, we kind of skip through this one, and these you can do on your own here. We did say we're gonna skim through a lot of this part. These are solutions, so that's fun. I really want to get to bishops and pawns. That is pretty easy, to be honest. That is not one that you really got to spend time with. Knights and pawns are ones that are really, really hard. All right, so let's move into chapter 8. I really wanted to get into this because there's a lot of stuff in here that's very, very deep. So here we go. How much time we at? All right, we at 10 minutes. Perfect. So we want to keep this video like 20 minutes, a little bit less, a little bit more, right in between there, just so we don't have a huge video way over. Okay, exploiting the advantage in endings with a large number of pieces. Nice. Basic technical methods. Oh, this is gonna be a nice chapter right here, bro. In practice, endings with a large number of fighting units have an importance of the first magnitude. Before we can reach a position with one or two pawns, the game necessarily must pass through a more complex endgame. The exceptions are games in which one may create an immediately decisive attack. Oh yeah, shout out to my grandfather Tal. Number 2, games that devoid in any content. What? Games devoid of any content which do not reach even in the middle game. Okay, all right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, bro. Yep. We consider it possible to start with the examination of endings containing a large number of fighting units. Now that in the previous chapters we laid out all the steps necessary to this, what are you saying? In this chapter we shall deal with endings defined by a superiority either in a position or in force. Okay. All right, so what does this say? Next to exploitation of such an advantage, technique alone is sometimes enough. That is, knowing a few methods which have been utilized previously in similar positions. Here is an example. Black to move. Let me flip this. Okay, all right, let me move this up. This is my chapter. I need these tips. Oh, you in this chapter already? Dang, look, Ryan reading. Jeez. Oh, Ryan out here reading this book, boy. He deep in the book right now. Let me show y'all my collection real quick. Side note, hold up. This is my collection right here, right? I'm telling you, I spend time, y'all. I read your man's works. I put in work. Okay, y'all know that every day. I'm in the lab. But here, okay, so let me see that again here. Black to move. All right, black to move. So let me look at the position. What's going on? First off, 3-4 observation. So you want to observe what's going on, and you want to look at immediate threats. And just kind of evaluate what's going on here. Thanks for the follow, Strong Mind and Devin. What's going on? Okay, so it's black to move. I want to go this way. Maybe go towards the king side. Like I want to run this way, maybe. Like king here or here. I mean, that feels good. And then where does his rook go? And also this is hanging. Oh, but he could play. No, he can't. But then he could do like a waiting move like this, right? And then but then wait, oh, I have this. Is he zugged out? Are you Zug Master Shorty over here right now? No, he has King D2, huh? Close. It's close. It's something like this. Let me try it again. White has an outside passer. I mean, yeah, he has this. Oh, you're talking about over here. Yeah, A5. Yeah, he has the passer, but is blockaded. Blockaded. Maybe an F5. Maybe F5. Or, okay, wait. Hold on, let's go back. Yeah, fine. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see what it says. First, let's compare the position of pieces. The strength of the black pieces is self-evident. His rook is attacking the enemy pawns, and the white rook must defend them. Perfect. The black rook occupies an active position, while white's is in a passive. Black's king is more active than white's. It will go to d5, where not only will it be completely safe, but it will bring pressure to the d4 pawn. And in some cases on the white rook on king c4, e4 stuff. Now let us turn our attention to the pawn structure. In this regard, too, black must be preferred. White's pawn position is nothing but weaknesses. All his pawns are broken up and isolated. In fact, let's talk about pawn islands. What's up? Tapes new. 1, 2, 3, 4. You count them. And actually, this cluster is actually one pawn island. So these 3 and this 1 equal 2 pawn islands. White has 4. So there are actually more weaknesses. So he's very weak there. It is true that black's pawn position is also not perfect. The d6 pawn is isolated, and the g pawns are restricted by their double state. If now we proceed from formal analysis to deeper evaluation, then white's pawn structure does not come off any better. On the contrary, we can see that the weakness on the d6 pawn is only apparent, since that pawn is well enough protected by his king. Further, the position of black's pawns is such that white's king cannot approach them, while black's king is threatening to invade through e4. Yeah, like I was talking about this right here. Oh, no problem, Mike. No problem, big my guy. Big Mike, I see you. Yeah. Okay. So what can white put up against all these advantages? Only the presence of a past, but stimmies. Well, I ain't never even seen that word. I mean, shoot. I mean, I studied chess, bro. Like, what the heck?
Bruh.
The heck is that word? Just my yo, right? Thanks for the gifted. But pawn on a3. What does this even mean, chat? I mean, I know we got some people in the chat that know this word. What does this word mean? It means blocked or construct or obstructed. Why didn't they say that, Red Hot Mama? Why didn't they say that? They could have just said that, right? Only the presence of a passed but stopped pawn on a3 and the faint hope that the lost one pawn might not equal loss of one of a whole game. It's a golf term. This oh, oh, we playing golf, huh? Oh, it's a golf term. That made it better. Oh, nice. It's a golf term. Great. Start using basketball terms in here, right? And this right here is the 3-man weave as he went down and played King E2 at the baseline. King E2 at the baseline. Freaking crazy. King D5 out here. Posing. Right, bro, I know, right? King to D5. Ridiculous. Legit, what up, don't cry. Oh, you casting on the living room TV? That's fire, bro.
Bruh.
On the living room TV, that's legit. King D5. So he does go King D5. So I was right about that. So that feels good. I knew I had to go this route. It felt right. King E2. White makes skillful use. Yeah, I'm ready. Of his only chance to pass pawn. Now it would not be good for black to take on D4, right? And here, a lot of you would do this. So this is good to pay attention to because this pawn's outside, which means now they call this fox in a chicken coop. You can learn that from Jeremy Seelman's in-game course. But fox in a chicken coop here is like this king go all the way up here to snag this pawn while you go snag this one. And you're going to have to come back while I'm over here going to get these because you have to go get this one. So I go this way while this king goes all the way up here and grab these. And then it's going to take it's not good for you, right? So that's usually how they do it. So, okay, that don't work. King E2, though. It says black must send his king after it, allowing. Oh, he's talking about this. They're actually showing us the line. Look at this. I was just talking about this. They're showing you what will happen. I mean, it's just so cool. But then it's saying and etc. Right, like etc. In these variations, it is not white but black who must fight for a draw. Such in the power of the outside pass pawn, in pawn endings. The outside pass pawn distracts the entire attention of black's king and takes him away from the main theater of action of the battle. All right, after this king E2 move. There was G5, very nice, I love it. Stopping H4 and F4, gaining some space, Rook B3 and F6. And you know what's funny? I understand this pawn cluster. This cluster of pawns is you're supposed to. I was just talking about this in like the Joe Bava video, right? The cluster of pawns. What do you need to do with them? Every type of pawn structure you ever have with clusters like this, no matter how this is set up, you have to push the lead one so that you only have one weak one. Because right now you have two weak ones. Think about this structure. You got two weak ones. Actually, sorry, two. F7 and G7 super weak. But if you push one and then defend with the other, now you only have one weak. It looks very good. It's much better. It's strengthened from where it was. And you gain space at the same time. All right, so after F6, King E3 here. And then if saying don't take on D4 again because of the outside pass pawn. King to C4. Thanks for the sub there. 2 months from Ru Kitty. What up? Thanks for the follows too, y'all. What up, though? Terminal and Al Grandad. What the heck? You know what? Yeah, Grande. I'm just gonna call him Grande. What the heck does that? Rook D3, D5 names. Boy, names these days. All right. All right, D5, King D2. I would take the pawn every time and lose. Yeah, this is why we're doing these. Make sure you're going through your Russian in-games. Right? Yeah, your Russian in-game handbook. King D2, Rook to A8. Black brings the Rook to the E file. After Rook E8, the move A4 will not be dangerous to him, as he could just play King B4 because the king is over here taking care of that. So the idea here was like bringing the king over here to watch this pawn so the Rook could get active. You see how he did that? Do you understand that? Like his plans. Think of the plans more than the moves, right? So the plan here was putting the king over here because the Rook was locked up. Now the king can watch the pawn. The Rook can now go free to do stuff, right? But it's still not over. You got work to do, but at least the Rook can move. Rook A8, King E2, Rook A7, King D2. And he's just kind of going back and forth. Rook E7, exclaim out here. Rook C3, and then he go, why did he do this? Did he not have a move? Wait. Now white must lose a pawn. Oh, how? Wait. Oh, he does. Look at the Zug. Now, what about F3? What about pawn f3? Interesting. Did they mention that? I know rook e3 would lose, obviously. Well, okay, let me show you guys. Rook e3, then you have rook b7, right? Rook d3, rook b2. So, of course, king e3 and rook a2, which is good. And, of course, he's dug out again, obviously. King c2, rook e2, check, takes. Oh, shoot. You can't take that. You would have to go king b3. Man, this is nuts, bro. You know your end games. Dang. You know how many people are going to take on d4 right there? Oh, my goodness. Jeez. You got to play king b3 there. Where can I find? Oh, right here, bro. Right here, Michael. Dang, dog, this is nuts. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. All right, we're going to go another 5 minutes here. We're at 20 mark for time here. So we're going to do another 5 minutes. We won't get through all this today, Rive, because this video will be super long. Because we want to cover this. We want to absorb this information. So we'll have another one. This will be for number 6. Russian Endgame Handbook number 6. We'll cover more of it. But we're going to finish this out first. Thanks, no problem. No problem there. Okay, rook c3. King takes d4, a4. Boom. So now we're just winning. We have a pass pawn. The a pawn is hanging as well. What's your favorite gambit? Scotch Gambino. Rook a7. Rook a3. I also like Smith Mortar too. I'm nasty with it. Rook a5. Rook a1. King c4. King e3, d4. Check. King d2. Rook f5. Yeah, this is easy. This is clockwork now. King e1, if a5, which looks like a move a lot of people will play because he's like, yo, I don't know how fast you are. Can you take this, right? He's definitely going to test him. Takes king e1, right? And then after king, they say rook b2 is best. So if a6, you can get back in time. Literally one move will like you literally get back in time. Right in time. King e1, king b4, king e2, king a5. Okay, let me just see the rest of this. Rook a3, rook f4. You try to absorb and see what's going on. Your favorite gambit is the bow test. Okay, from your opponent, right? Right, exactly. Rook h4, king d3. I can take with check. All right, so let me evaluate this. It's still not over. I could take the a pawn though. Oh yeah. All I do is win this a pawn. So is it rook b3, rook b4? Take on a4, game over? Oh yeah, rook h4, same idea, right? Literally just game over. You just take this pawn. And he can't even go, like, he could never walk his king and take this pawn. Unless, well, obviously, we have to trade the rooks for this to happen. But if we trade the rooks, it's 100% over. So, of course, he does not trade the rooks. After rook takes a4, you need to keep the rook on the board. The rook's on, so you can have chances for draw if you're white here. So, king to b7, look how the rook is going to stay on the c file to keep him cut off. Rook c1, not rook anywhere else because he wants to keep the king stuck on the b file. Very good. Rook a4. Rook h1. He brought the king up. He was going to play rook a6. The reason why he moved off, he was going to, that's why he brought his rook over here to a4. He's going to bring the rook here to c6 and then bring his king over. So he was like, all right, cool. I'm just about to, be ahead of the game and not let you do that and try to keep you passive. White is trying to keep him passive here. Now, here's the move. Look at this. G6. 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 Dang. Dang, that boy out of there. G takes, give me those. And then, can't catch me. Wait, couldn't you just... Oh, yeah, you have to go king here. Yeah, push. Can't catch me. Can't catch him. King g5, king e4. I'm walking them. Walking the dogs. Very easy. You go here, I go here. Snap, and we push into oblivion. Start a new one. GG. Game over. Last one here. Last one of tonight for Russian Endgame Handbook. All right, black to move. Wow. Okay, first let's evaluate. What's going on? We are down. Bro, this look gross. Oh my goodness. 3-6. Bro, what is this? This is garbage. Yo, this is garbage. Why did you give us this position? Like, let me put my garbage emote in the chat. Like, why is this even a problem right now? Why are we looking at this? Moscow in 1925 from E-Man Lasker versus Romanovsky. E-Man Lasker with the black pieces here. Sheesh. All right, b5. I'm thinking b5 because, this is terrible. Why am I even calculating this right now? But, of course, you have to calculate, and this is for my coach, you have to calculate bad positions just as hard and as good as you would if you had a good position. So I have to sit here and figure this out here. So it's triple pawns here, 2 versus 3 on a queen side. This is terrible. What on earth? How did you get in this position? Okay, we got to read this. Like, how did you get here? White is 2 pawns up. However, only the extra pawn on the queen side where white has connected pawns against 2 has any significance. It will not prove difficult to exploit this advantage and create a pass pawn. Absolutely, we do know this. By this instance, from pushing the pawns up, basically. The extra pawn in the center plays less of a role. Thanks for the sub. Oh, Bogus Rogus in here. Let's go. White cannot create a pass pawn with it. The role of white's e-pawns is purely defensive. They guard the pawn or d4, d5, f4, and f5. Thanks for the follow, TTV. And making them inaccessible to the black king and the rook. Despite white's material advantage, the win would not have been easy. If white did not also have a positional advantage, white was the clearly superior, has the clearly superior rook position. All right, let's see this. King f6, because this is just so bad, bro. a4, king f2. Let me just hold on. I don't know. Should we see this from black's point of view? Like, what are you trying to teach us here? Like, in positions where the enemy is reduced to passivity, it is recommended that you proceed with decisive action only after putting all your pieces in the highest state of battle readiness. Very nice. Okay, rook f7 check, king g3, rook e7, a5, king g5, b4. I mean, I'm doing nothing as black here. This is the worst when you're literally doing nothing. Takes. Rook a7, rook c5. I think this is for white. Let's see. Let me just flip the board here, dog. It feels like you're getting worked. White cannot lose this game. Rook c5, rook e7, king g4, c4. Yeah, pass pawns must be pushed. b5, create the pass pawn. Easy. Light work. Easy. Rook e6. Okay. That's an X-clamp too. Black extracts everything he can from the position. If white answers with b6, then there would be rook b6 and rook e5. But this looks super drawn. You got 2 dubs on the e file. Can you win this? What's the process? What is the goal? Getting the rook to e8 and a pawn on e7. Where would his king need to be? What if he's on g7? He could go to f7. Pass pawn. It's playable. There is room for error. Let me turn the engine on here. There is room for error for black. Yeah, it's +3, right? It feels like I could win this, but I also feel like this could be a draw somehow. So, but definitely feel like I'm winning this. I could lose this in a heartbeat with the white pieces, huh? With white losing. Okay, rook e6. So rook e6. After rook e6 move, we go rook to d5. Love the channel. Thanks, Bogus Rogus. Rook d5. Okay. Again, a waiting move typical of the endgame. Black is in Zug Master. On king moves, there follows king to g5, and if the rook retreats along the e-file, then the b-pawn moves, right? So he's saying if you move the king, I go king g5. You move the rook, I push the pawn, right? So you have no moves. Rook e7, b6. Rook b7, rook b5, king g7, I walk the king up, so I got everything. King f7, rook b1, another Zug Master. Have a nice day. Now the difference in the rook placement tells. The white rook can maneuver freely, while the black rook can just adjust to the circumstances. While rook b1, white prepares rook f1 check and rook f6. So that's the idea here. King g7 and rook to b2, resi. Dang, what a move. Dang, rook b2, resignate. What a waiting move, bro. Why is it so fire? Because anything you do, if you move the rook back, I play b7. If you go king f7, then I go king h6 maybe. Actually, sorry, check, and then rook f6 like I wanted to. If you go king h7, I go king f6. I go in this way and take on e5. Let's see what it says. If king h7, yep, king f6. If king f7, you go rook f7, I mean, rook f6 like he wanted to. Right, so we'll go through the rest of these later, guys. That puts us at 28 minutes here, a little bit over what we wanted to. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all have y'all Russian in-game book. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'm see y'all on the next one.